Welcome to HKB. I'm Shaz.
I'm Leon.
Today we're looking at the Nova Media release of Handsome Siblings. Handsome Siblings was released in 1992 and made by Wynn's Film Co. The copy we have is by Nova Media.
This Blu-ray is region free. The film's running time is 103 minutes long, and it's kind of a period piece kung fu movie with lots of elements of comedy to it.
Starring in Handsome Siblings are Andy Lau as Fishy,
Brigitte Lyn as Moore,
Sharla Cheung as Eva,
Man-Tat as Big Mouth Lee,
Deanie Ip as Sissy Toe,
Francis Ng as Kong Yuk Long,
and Fung Hak-On as Monk Blackie.
and this film was directed by Eric Tsang. So Handsome Siblings, it's one of those movies that's set in the martial world where everybody's competing to learn the greatest martial art technique. And at the beginning of the film, we're like in a valley of the villains as such. And Sharla Cheung is she ends up fighting with her husband. And through this fight, he gets damaged. Even though he wins the fight, he gets damaged. And he keeps the son, the baby boy, and she takes off and vows vengeance. And because the father is so greatly damaged, they say he's like a vegetable state, but he's basically in a coma or something, and he kept in like his own personal sauna with his head stuck out of. And she goes and raises another child, which is a young girl, and these two children respectively grow up to be Andy Lau and Brigitte Lyn. And eventually, they both head off for the same tournament. I'm not going to try too hard to describe the plot and the story of this film, because it is a little confusion, for us to follow, and probably for you guys to follow too, unless you really understand these martial world epics and understand that culture a little bit more than what we do. We was a little confused, but we weren't here for that. We were here for Andy Lau, Brigitte Lyn, the whole host of stars that's in it, the fun, the laughs, the wire work, the kung fu. So what did you think of this one, Shaz? Our first Nova Media release?
Well, the release I thought is great. The film, I was a tiny bit confused, to be honest, but I did really enjoy it. I really liked, in particular, the sort of main opening scene with Sharla Cheung and all the wire work. I thought it was really spectacular, and all the floating fabric. I just thought it was just gorgeous.
It did look stunning. It looked very striking. It looked rich. It looked like there was a lot of money ploughed into the film. The wire work was extremely elaborate. It looked really, really good. I mean, it was comparable to things like Chinese Ghost Story with the imagery that was in there. Sharla Cheung looked absolutely stunning in the film. I thought she looked really, really good. And the quality of that wire work was, really, really good. I mean, I'm not sure who did it, but amazing scenes. We did have some outlandish humour in this one. Yeah.
It's quite funny. I do remember a bit with Andy Lau sort of hiding in a cupboard and really squashed up.
Yeah.
That was funny.
Who knew Andy Lau was such a good contortionist? I mean, that was frightening to see. And the humour gets a little bit lower than that as well. There was a scene that pretty much appealed to me, I thought was great, where Man-Tat had taken this pill and basically it made him as horny as you like. He's like Sid James on a Carry On movie, he had to have it there and then. And Andy Lau had prepped a horse for him, and Man-Tat came back in after like just a couple of seconds, and they're like, God, that was quick. How did you get to town and back? And basically he thought the horse was for his sexual pleasure rather than for a trip to town to go and visit a hooker, which absolutely I thought was amazing, really made me laugh.
Giggling for quite a while after that scene.
I just kept choking on my beer. I was just like, every time I thought of it, I always thought that scene was brilliant, like really well done.
You also like the fake arm gag.
Yeah, Andy was using that to death when he had a fake arm that he conveniently kept in his robe and just kept popping up when he was trying to touch like Brigitte Lyn or whatever in the film. If you don't like this sort of stuff, you're probably going to hate this film. But if you do like this sort of broad comedy, it's got the vibes of like the Stephen Chow movies, that sort of humour in there. Well, we quite liked it a lot, didn't we?
Mm.
Well, what was anybody else that stood out in this movie for you besides Andy Lau and Brigitte Lyn?
Well, I was pleased to see Richard Ding turn up.
Yeah.
And Ching-Hsia was in there as well, wasn't he?
Yes, a little cameo from Ching-Hsia. I mean, he wasn't in it much, but when they played a good gag on him, which was quite amusing. So yeah, it's always good to see him. And Richard Ding and the guy that was with him, they were kind of like enforcers of the martial world, I would say. Something like they knew like all the techniques and helped with the selection of the new champion of the martial world. So a slightly different role for Richard Ding. I mean, it's still recognisably him, and his all his stuff that he does. But for me, in this film, I really liked Francis Ng. He hams it up large and loud like he can do, and played a truly despicable character. So yeah, he was a lot of fun in this. I really enjoyed him. And going back to Brigitte Lyn, we've not really mentioned her much. I thought she looked lovely in this film.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, she always looks good, but I mean, she really did look beautiful in this film, and I thought the chemistry between her and Andy Lau worked quite well.
Definitely.
I know there was like massive overtones of comedy that were kind of sat right on top of the romantic sort of side of the story. Because it does come to a bit of a love story between them, which is
it does,
a bit all of a sudden. And it's like, hey, all of a sudden we're in love, and we can't be without each other. But it worked for me, in the context of the film and the style of film it was. What do you think?
No, I agree. And how they had to come together at the end to work together, didn't they? So,
yeah.
I think that at the beginning when we realised there were going to be two kids, the two babies, and you were like, oh, that's going to be Andy Lau and Brigitte Lyn, and I thought they're going to end up together, aren't they?
Yeah. Not sure about the title though, Handsome Siblings, because they're not siblings, and if they were, this would be all shades of wrong. So maybe something's lost in translation there, but
probably, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I guess they would be deemed to be siblings because Andy Lau's mum raised Brigitte Lyn, even though she's not a blood relation. Was she from an orphanage, did they say at the beginning?
I think so, yeah. And she's trying to raise her to pretend that she's a man as well, which seems to be a trope that travels around with Brigitte Lyn, which I've no idea why, because really?
But funny you just say that. You just reminded me, when we watched it, I said how it sort of put me in mind of like a pantomime that you'd see over here. And it just had that feel, and I think the film possibly came out over like Christmas period, was it? Like December?
Oh no, it didn't.
Oh yes, it did. I think, I'll double check that, but I'm sure it was, so I wonder if it was had that sort of feel to it.
Yeah, maybe.
Comedic action.
Yeah, and you could, with the amount of stars in this film, and there was a lot, you could almost believe it was Chinese New Year. Had that kind of feel as well, doesn't it?
As well, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah. Anyway, this film I enjoyed immensely. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10.
And that's exactly the same as me. 7 out of 10.
This is our first Blu-ray from Nova Media, and we're quite pleased with this.
Yeah, really nice. Have a quick look at the package. So we have a nice glossy slipcase, front and back, nice big pictures, no text.
Yeah, that's, as you know by now, this is one of our bugbears, and we like this. We got imagery on both sides. Looks lovely, and there's no ugly certification on it as well.
No, and I think the text is slightly embossed.
Yeah.
So there isn't, which is
beautiful,
nice.
very collectible.
That's very nice.
We also have some picture cards which were inside the case.
Different ones from the film.
Yeah, really like that. This is a limited edition from Nova Media. There's 777 copies of this release, and we have number 593.
And then the actual Blu-ray case. So we've got different pictures on this one.
Absolutely stunning to look at.
Really nice.
And on the inside as well.
Different picture again.
Yeah. So it's nice, and nice image on the disc as per standard. But on the Blu-ray itself, we've only got a trailer. There is no other extras. So that unfortunately drags the score down for us. We're going to give this 2 stars, but we do want to say that it's a lovely edition and it's very collectible, and we do definitely highly recommend these releases. The picture on this Blu-ray, what did you think, Shaz?
I thought it was really good, really clear.
Yeah, we would think it's probably an upscale, but because it looks so good, 4 stars.
The audio on this, I thought it was really good, really clear.
Yeah, I was really pleased with the audio on this Blu-ray. 4 stars.
Subtitles, they were clear, but they were a bit quick in some places, and there were some spelling mistakes, weren't there? So we're going to score the subtitles 3 stars. This release is still available from Nova Media. It's at $23.99. So if you enjoyed our video today, why not let us know by giving us a like?
And thank you to everybody who has subscribed to our channel, and everybody that has viewed one of our videos. We really do appreciate it. And you know, anybody that shared one of our links or followed us on social media, we appreciate all of that. Thank you very much, guys. Hopefully we will see you next time. And remember, guys, be true and buy the blue.